I'm hoping by this point that we have an intro.
Hopefully.
Um, hopefully. In case we don't,
Welcome back. I'm Sam.
and I'm Miguel. And so today, we touched on it a little bit. You touched on it, I guess, last week, talking about the Men in Black.
I was wondering if you can do Men in Black.
Yep,
Nice.
Yep. So this also is a shout out to my boy Ethan. You know who you are if you're listening. You know who you are. And he wanted to know a little more about it. So I went down the rabbit hole a little bit and
That's awesome.
Started researching the Men in Black.
I mean, I get it, and I'm curious as well.
Okay, so we're just gonna get started with the history of kind of when they first. So okay, there's a lot here.
I bet you got down some rabbit holes.
There was
a
lot of rabbit holes, and a lot of it wasn't concrete evidence. But there's one photo that I'm going to show you that's kind of considered like foolproof, like or not. What is it? What do they call it? Ironclad.
Okay.
Ironclad Men in Black photo.
Okay.
Or something suspicious like that. So there's one photo I'll show you later on.
Okay.
And I'll get your thoughts on it. Okay. So it all started back in 1947 when a Herald Dahl claimed that a man in a dark suit warned him not to discuss his alleged UFO sighting on Maury Island. And so that sighting was that he saw 9 lights in the sky strung together, and it was most likely a host. Okay.
Where is that at? Maury.
Washington. It's kind of like the Puget Sound area.
Okay.
But at the time, it was considered like it was mostly a hoax that he just wanted attention.
Okay.
But 3 days later, on June 24th, 1947, private pilot Kenneth Arnold claimed that he saw the same thing. A string of 9 shiny, unidentified flying objects flying past Mount Rainier, which is in Washington. And he estimated the speeds were at a minimum of 1,200 miles per hour, which I don't know how the fuck you estimate that, but...
I mean, if you can fly something that fast, I bet you would know how fast that looks, you know?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're probably right. I don't have any previous experience with that.
Well, if you think about a car, sometimes if you are like,
he's going fast.
He's going fast. He has to be. I'm going this much. He has to be at least doing this, or
right,
or slower.
You know, funny enough, I remember my mom. I remember one time I think we were driving back from a lacrosse game in East Idaho, and it was before I had my license, and this car comes speeding past us, dude. I swear to God, just hauling. And my mom's in her minivan, you know. And I'm like, how fast is that guy going? I was like, in my head, I was like, he's probably going 100. My mom was like, he's probably going 70. And I don't know why that stuck to me to this day. Like 5 miles an hour is a lot faster.
Yeah.
Going on the freeway than 65.
Well, yeah, yeah. Think about the difference between even like 25 and 30 or 25 and 35 even.
Yeah. Also, fun fact. When you speed going 25, like if you go 25, if you go 35 into 25, you shave off a lot more time than when you go 65 into 75.
Or 75 into 65?
Yep. Because there's a lot more distance traveled. I think I read that somewhere. I don't know if it's fact, but...
well, it's miles per hour, so you traveled... No matter what, you traveled 10 more miles than...
Fuck, you got me. Damn, you got me. But
I would always once my mom told me that if we go 60 miles an hour for an hour, we'll go 60 miles, it instantly clicked for me. Because I think we were driving to Oregon or somewhere. And so ever since then, I was like, okay, well, we're going 70 miles per hour. So technically that shaves off some time from how many miles. So then it's gonna take, because I would like try to do that, and I still do that to this day. Like however many miles, I like always think of. I think of 60 miles per hour first.
I think of that chart that I read a while ago saying like you shave off more time going faster and at slower speed than faster speed. But I guess it does make sense. You know?
I don't know. I mean, you could. I have no idea.
I think it might be like a time thing though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I can't remember. I don't want to say any more about it. But either way, so he claimed that they went about 1,200 miles an hour, and Arnold's report was the first one of a UFO sighting that really went nationwide. And the news coverage and the description also led the press quickly to coin the term the flying saucer or flying disc or a UFO.
Unidentified flying object?
Yep, okay. Right on. 10 days later, Captain E.J. Smith and his co-pilot reported witnessing the same thing in the same area, in the Pacific Northwest.
I feel like I've heard about that. Yeah, okay. I feel like I've heard about this kind of encounter.
Mm-hmm. Fun fact about Kenneth Arnold, the guy that saw the same thing over by Mount Rainier. Mm-hmm. In the 1940s, he started a fire suppression company in Boise, Idaho.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, fun fact about him.
Dang.
So I had to throw that in there. His company was called Great Western Fire Control Supply in Boise, Idaho, which sold and installed fire suppression system. And I don't know if that company's still around, but it was a fun fact. Nice. I liked it.
I like it.
And so the next big one was in the mid 1950s. UFOologist. I don't know how you pronounce that.
That sounds right.
Albert K. Bender claimed he was visited by men in dark suits who threatened and warned him not to continue investigating UFOs. He maintained that the men were secret government agents tasked with suppressing UFO evidence. So a little bit, again, these are first-hand accounts. I have more in-depth later on. Mm-hmm. But these are kind of the first accounts of the Men in Black, where they started becoming, like, people would start researching UFOs and they would go public with the Men in Black. Okay. So Albert K. Bender, he was also the founder of the IFSB, which is the International Flying Saucer Bureau. And it was the first major civilian UFO club in the world, and it was wildly successful. Like, a lot of members wanted to join it, and he was doing really well. But it was right after those Men in Black came that he mysteriously just closed it down, shut it all up, stopped. Like, nobody really knows the real reason as to why, but he shut it all down.
No. Oh, man.
And so, another fun fact about this IFSB is that, this is so funny, they voted to have a World Contact Day. It was in March. I don't know the exact date, but it was in March in 1953. And it was where they would attempt to send a telepathic message into space.
Telepathic?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to know what the message was?
Huh.
Okay. I'm going to try not to mess it up. This is what they would. It was a group of people. Just imagine this. A group of people outside.
They're just like thinking
They're thinking they're part of this IFSB group. They voted that on this day at this time, they're going to close their eyes and think this message and send it into space because that's what they imagined that any extraterrestrial being would. This is what it is. Calling occupants of interplanetary craft. Calling occupants of interplanetary craft that have been observing our planet Earth. We of ISFB wish to make contact with you. We are your friends and would like you to make an appearance here on Earth. Your presence before us will be welcomed with the utmost friendship. We will do all in our power to promote mutual understanding between your people and the people of Earth. Please come in peace and help us in our earthly problems. Give us some sign that you have received our message. Be responsible for creating a miracle here on our planet to wake up the ignorant ones to reality. Let us hear from you. We are your friends.
Okay. Can I say what I think about that?
Well, hold on.
So let me say something.
Okay.
It's a little lengthy.
It's a bit long, ain't it?
Also, how could you think that whole sentence unless they're like thinking, like reading it and thinking it? I would be like saying it and I'd be like, oh, I wonder if they can hear me. I wonder if they like.
So that's why they did it that way. So telepathically. So they were under the assumption that if they had a large enough group of people and that much amount of brain power, that it would send a stronger signal into space.
I get that, but what I'm saying is, you're telling me all however many people stayed focused.
I don't know.
One, I know at least maybe a third of them have ADHD, and they're just like, wow, I wonder if they hear us. Oh, I wonder if this. Like,
I know,
they're already wondering.
I know, I'd get lost.
I got lost halfway listening to you. I was like, wait, what are they saying?
It is a little lengthy.
Like, all you have to say is, we are friends.
I'll send them a strongly worded. Actually, the organization's done, so.
It is? Oh yeah, because he closed it.
Yep. The next year, it was really successful. Close it down the next year.
So then why wouldn't somebody just go and then open it again?
I don't know.
They got threatened. Oh no.
Possibly. Okay. So a little more about Bender is that, so the same thing here is that Bender later told that in 1953 he had been approached by 3 men in black. These men visited. This was before that the men in black had kind of connotations against them.
When was this?
1953. Okay. Good?
Yeah. Kombucha just...
Yeah, this kombucha's a little rough, not gonna lie.
Oof. It was just the end. It just had a little zing.
So yeah, in 1953, he said that he was approached by 3 men in black. These men visited him in his house and communicated with him telepathically. So he says.
Whoa, what?
That's what he says.
Okay, he was also the one that was like, let's telepathically talk to them.
Right.
Homeboy just doesn't like to talk.
Right. So maybe. And so at the time, he received a metal disc from them and instruction. He reported that he felt like he was being transported, that these men apparently shared insights into the nature of UFOs. These men shared the origin of UFOs with Bender, and afterwards he became very ill. And he didn't eat for 3 days. And as a result of their visit, Bender felt encouraged to share what he had seen with other UFO investigators, but was refused. And then literally, like right after this event, Bender suffered a lot of headaches, and his coworkers even said that he was not the same. Like he had really bad anxiety. Even in his works after the visit, you could just like feel the anxiety in his works because he just wasn't the same.
And he did what again?
He was a ufologist.
So that's what he did like full time.
No, I don't know what he did full time.
Because you said with his workers, he must work something like with science or something. I bet.
Oh God, I read it somewhere. So he did a lot of stuff. Oh, what is it? What do they say? Oh gosh, I can't remember. But he did other stuff. But UFOs took over. And so yeah, he was never the same.
You could drug someone.
Absolutely.
Easily.
Bill Cosby.
But yeah, you could definitely drug somebody to where they're sick, and then if they like were talking enough, or even if they gave him something of the right sorts and like kind of like made him out of it, and then like talked to him and like freaked him out, like yeah I could see you having anxiety. Like, I mean, yeah, 100%.
Well, just imagine like you're researching these UFOs, like you think something's out there. And nobody, like in the 50s, I don't think it was that big.
No, and also just think about the technology. You wouldn't even have nearly as much as what you have now.
Yeah.
So like you are really just like, dang, I just wondered, and all of a sudden these people come and they're saying these things. If anything, they're saying stuff they've drugged you, and in this time period of like you either being drugged slash I want to say under the I would say yeah under the influence, like when people are like roofied and they're kind of like seeing star stuff, but then you're like talking to them, or I
You
mean
probably feel like you're
you're
going into a
feeling
different
through yeah you
dimension.
feel like you are going to the different dimension,
Possibly, yeah. Maybe
and
he
they
got
could be doing
drugged.
stuff to like scare the crap out of you.
Well, like, so when I was researching the Men in Black, another story came up where this fella, around the same time, he was researching, like, he had radio equipment set up next to a military base.
Oh, no.
And so he was picking up some signals and he let the military base know. And the military base started, like, messing with him, like, fucking with him. And so
No.
they would put out fake signals, and it got to the point so bad where he discovered a whole new language, um, that the military base was messing with him. He discovered a whole new language. He was obsessed with it. He was upset because he thought he was doing, like, literally military personnel would come through and be like, "You're doing a great job," and they would outfit him with better equipment, better stuff, all this good stuff.
Oh my god.
And
no way.
yeah, and they kept fucking with him, and they would eventually, like, it got to the point where he had to get institutionalized because he believed so much, that he just was not the same.
Duh.
I mean, you have, like, if I were to see military men and I'm doing something and they tell me that I'm doing something right,
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna believe.
100%.
And especially if you're getting sent fake signals.
Especially think about it in the 50s. Or is it, you said it was in the 50s? Or
I can't remember. It was definitely around the same time.
Well, you're tapping a radio. Like, all I'm saying is that, like, yeah.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So that's a story I came across while I was researching this. Doesn't have anything to do with the Men in Black, but it was just kind of like the dude ended up being institutionalized because it messed with his brain so much.
Well, I mean, your brain like can mess with you.
Isn't that weird? Mm-hmm. Like, your brain can make you believe or not believe, and I guess it's your choice.
It's your reality.
But it's your reality. Yeah, it's your reality that really does it for you.
It's, I mean, you know, the whole thing is like, what says that their brain's wrong over ours? You know, like maybe it's only a few people who really know what's happening. You know, like it's just like you can really dig into the what ifs,
like on gaslighting, manipulation.
Yeah,
like you can alter somebody's reality.
100% into like something. I wouldn't say it's minimal of gaslighting stuff because gaslighting is definitely a real like way of like abuse, kind of.
Right.
But what I'm saying is like you could really mess someone up.
Excuse me.
Into their hiccups, into like how they're thinking.
Yeah, but I think it's fascinating, but also like pretty depressing at the same time. Mm-hmm. Like it's fascinating how somebody so bad can like almost shape and mold your mind and how you think, how you behave.
And like, it will stay with.
And it'll stay with you. Like it's a scar on your brain that won't go away. Most likely, right?
Yeah.
And it'll always be there, right?
Even though you've tried and done whatever you can to not have it be there.
But after so many years, your mind gets reinforced, programmed, reinforced.
Well, that's why it's scary when it's in adolescence, you know?
Yeah.
That mind knows nothing else.
Yeah, and it just gets reinforced. And it's just wild.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It sure is. But we'll continue on here. So where was I? So yeah, he was never the same. But a side note about Bender's house and where he lived.
Was it in Washington?
It was in Washington. His house was always kind of depicted as kind of a haunted house, or not depicted, but he also was like, he had some weird stuff going on in his house. Like he had posters of werewolves.
So he's into
little
all things.
heads, vampires.
So he's in the supernatural.
He was into the supernatural.
Okay.
So,
I mean, if you think about aliens, you would think of them as supernatural. Supernatural is just things that you don't.
And they always keep that out. So I found a lot of articles about Bender and kind of the same thing that he went through, but only one article that it was almost like an educational article that pointed out his house and like kind of where he comes from. I don't think it was more of like, I don't think it was to discredit him.
No, but it was just like, this was there.
Like this was there, like telling the whole truth. Okay. But also ufologist John Keel claimed to have encounters with the men in black and referred to them as demonic supernaturals.
That's where we kind of thought it was, huh?
Yeah. So they were with dark skin and or exotic facial features and reports with...
Interesting.
Why?
Because black-eyed children and those black-eyed men were always super pale. Pale, dark eyes. So interesting how it was opposite.
Yeah. So, reports of the Men in Black represent experiences that don't seem to have occurred in the world of consensus reality.
Okay.
Yeah, so people think that they're just made up, pretty much.
Okay.
So a little bit about John Keel is that he was imaginative and he was considered a significant influence within the UFO Fortean genre, which I had to look up what Fortean meant.
Yeah, I was
and it was just kind of like a made-up genre.
Oh.
No, that's not right. Fortean meant like it was its own genre that wanted to be fact or science really bad, but scholars and academics didn't want to acknowledge it.
Oh, cool.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Yeah. So also historian Aaron Golias wrote during the 70s, 80s, and 90s, UFO conspiracy theories would incorporate the Men in Black into their increasingly complex and paranoid visions. And then in his book in 1975, he described the Men in Black searching for a phone to call a tow truck for these things. Oh, back to that story I was telling you earlier. The military would also set up fake crash sites.
Like what kind of crash sites? Like car?
UFO crash sites.
Oh my gosh.
For this guy to go find and discover.
For this freaking...
Dude,
you're telling me that they had this much time on their hands?
I mean...
To just...
Probably.
Or was it not all messing with?
Oh.
And they're just saying, yeah, this guy's just freaking crazy. We're just messing with him.
That's a good narrative. I didn't even think about that.
What if they weren't? What if it was like legit and he was catching in on it and they were like, well, let's just
say we planted it.
Like, say he's doing a good job and maybe he was doing a good job and then they got caught or they got viewed and then they're like, dude, it was a prank. Who spends that much time and energy on a prank?
Yeah, especially like moving. Yeah, they would have him go like they would set up crash sites.
Dude, I bet.
I didn't even think about that, dude.
I bet that he was actually doing stuff for them and actually seeing stuff.
Do you think he could actually understand their language?
He might have, and then he freaking lost it, or he went too public, and they were like, "Dude, this guy's crazy.
We gotta shut this guy up."
Watch out, the Men in Black here tomorrow.
So, and Men in Black sightings were ranging from all the way from Australia to New Zealand, pretty much globally.
Oh, wow.
And it was always the big UFO guys that had kind of research or evidence that were being silenced.
Not the ones in Mexico right now, dude.
I know, right? So, that's pretty much what I have for the history of the Men in Black. I have some first-hand accounts here that I'll get into.
Nice.
But I wanted to jump in and just say, like, the Men in Black the consensus is still unclear
Mm-hmm.
whether they're aliens or they're government silence group or they're
Mm-hmm.
demons.
From what you've given me, I would say they're more government silence group rather than. And that's what I would even argue that they're still government silence group, even with maybe even the black-eyed children that they've like been able to hone them in on a certain level. If people see them there, they're like calling them back.
I'm just trying to think of like.
They got little devil traps in the car seats.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, seriously. But like the Men in Black, it makes like sense.
Mm-hmm.
They if there truly was Men in Black, let's say there was a future, they would come back and try to suppress some information
Mm-hmm.
because maybe they do something later on this is all theoretical.
Mm-hmm.
That they would have some technology to wipe our memories,
Mm-hmm.
like the classic Men in Black movie.
Yeah.
Kind of forget what you saw, do all that stuff.
I mean, why not?
Like, wouldn't it be convenient
Well, yeah, I mean,
that these people don't exist? They don't look like us. They don't
who did
talk like us.
I
They
think I
don't
said it to
act like
somebody
us.
today. Knowledge is power. 100%.
Right on.
Knowledge is power, and it's one of the things that I'll always say to everybody. And it's true of even like extraterrestrial, extra like paranormal, like some stuff. Too much knowledge about it can make somebody too powerful. So yeah, you would want to.
Go ahead, give me an example.
Well, say you know all this stuff about aliens, you know all this, and you don't. They want to make the first advancement. They're the ones that want to like release the information about
Right.
it. So yeah, you can't be the first ones to do it. They need to take that power away from you and erase your memory. That's what I'm saying.
You know what the scariest part about that is, though?
That
You wouldn't know that it happened.
That's what. Is it scary? That's scary. But like also it's
That is scary, in my opinion.
You know what's even scarier? When you like repress things and it's your own mind wiping your own memory.
That is pretty scary. I would agree.
But also like
so traumatic that your own mind goes into lockdown.
Or it makes it into something else. That's even freakier.
Yeah.
But anyways, I don't even know if it would ever be like how Man in Black, like a classic movie where it's like a flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it could ever be that. I think if anything, it would be something ingested.
I think you're limited to what we have technology now.
I know. I just think that the brain is more on like a chemical aspect.
Oh, interesting.
Like I'm just
that makes sense.
So that's why I think it would always be something ingested, or maybe a combination of both. But the thing is that I know Men in Black is like a movie, but like the concept,
you never know.
And sometimes it's like you just put stuff out in plain sight, right? And hope for the best. Like I get treats, like I get like sweets around the house, and I just set them in the cupboard, but I just don't tell you about them, and you just don't even notice that they're there. And then I all of a sudden offer it to you, and you're like, oh, it's been there this whole time? I'm like, yeah, dude. Just hiding in plain sight.
That is true. She does do that. that is accurate. for the record, that is accurate.
But I think it's the same concept of you could just be saying this stuff. But what I'm saying is on the Flash thing, they set it back to the certain date and Flash.
That's what they do on the movie?
I think so, yeah. I'm pretty sure. I think they set it to the right time and whatever they want it to be and click.
See, I always thought they just
clicked. Or maybe they just click.
I thought they just clicked it. Or is that a Mandela effect?
Oh my gosh. But maybe there's a movie that does that. I don't know, but either way, you would have to figure out.
I think you're thinking of Click with Adam Sandler.
No, he pauses and plays. No, that's not what I'm thinking of. But what I'm saying is also, you would have to tell the brain where to leave off from. So I don't know if even then you could even just chemically do it. I think it would have to be a combination of your vision as well. like ingest. I mean, like when people like do the freaking mind thing, you like with therapy,
or is it the
where with
Marvel time stone? They just freaking.
I know. No, but I would say like I mean even with with I would say it's torture for sure, but um when they would show you images and then they would either make you sick or something off of it. Do you know about that?
This does not ring a bell.
It's, it'd be like for especially for like gay people, like people who like the same sex, they would show pictures of the person of the same sex and then give them something to be sick.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
So like, you know how it's like almost a combination of both?
Uh-huh.
I would say it would almost have to be the same thing to go back in your memory or to wipe a memory. You'd have to say what time it needs to be left off at. So I feel
See,
like
I don't think it. I personally, I don't think it worked like that. I think it'd have to be like I think you just have to manipulate them or find a way to manipulate the brain to not believe that happened. That was just a random thought.
like a dream.
Oh, like a daydream. You know, like when you're walking, you just have random thoughts in your head. Like that, you just click them, and then you make the brain think that you didn't actually see that. That was just a random thought in your head, but you're not going to tell anybody about it because it was wild.
Yeah. But that's what maybe Men in Black have capability of.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm the Man in Black.
You look good in black. It's a nice t-shirt.
Thank you. What can I say? So where was I here? So yeah, it's unclear, but the general consensus is that they are government entities.
Yeah, I'd say government.
But they are aliens.
That's the general consensus.
Yep. And let me tell you why.
Tell me.
Because on most accounts with the Men in Black is that one, they don't have very human manners. The way they walk is strange. It's almost like their hips are locked and their knees don't bend. So they walk in a very like.
So their knees don't bend. So they're like, what?
Yeah.
Like throwing their legs around.
They walk very strange. They're generally very hairless. Like they don't have eyebrows or facial hair or hair on their head. And they talk in a very weird manner where it's super articulate, almost like you're reading from a book. Or they're robots. That's another theory, is that they're robots.
I would say they're more robots than aliens. Why the heck? Or it couldn't even... But then how is the government? What I'm saying is that you either have aliens trying to say, bro, don't bring this up. I'm just trying to check out this place. Mm-hmm. Shut the hell up.
Right.
Or you have government trying to cover their butt saying like, no, I want to be the one to discover this. You don't get to discover this. Mm-hmm. And if you want to have the more government side, then it would be a robot.
Why? Why would that make more sense? Why would
the government be able to control this alien to do it unless the government and aliens are like, yo, we're in cahoots. I don't want them to know about us. You don't want them to know about me. So I'll go tell them. But then it's just us making them do our dirty work.
Or do you think it's the aliens that we're doing their dirty work, whereas the Illuminati per se are aliens and they're using us to trade? So now you're getting into a real deep hole. Yeah.
I can see it. I know. As soon as you said Illuminati, yeah. I instantly agree.
Makes sense. Okay, so this is the photo I'm going to show you.
You have it?
I have it right here. But let me read it for you. Okay. Let me read it off for you. So Jim Templeton, he was taking a photo of his daughter, just in a field, when a figure in the background of the photo appeared.
Don't even tell me. I'm so excited.
When he originally took the photo, the figure was not in view. and like nobody knew where it came from.
Oh, man, I have goosebumps. Oh my gosh.
The film was verified by Kodak, and Templeton's story went public. And it was not long after he was visited by two government agents
Oh my
who
god.
referred to themselves as Number 9 and Number 10.
Dude. Or it's like Stranger Things.
Could be.
Dude.
Okay. They demanded to see the site of the photo, like where it was taken.
Oh, I have so many goosebumps right now. Oh my gosh.
And when Templeton's told them that he didn't see the figure personally, the men became very angry, and they stormed out of the field, never to be seen again. Later on, Templeton was later contacted by two employees at a missile launch pad in Australia.
Wait, where did he live?
Australia.
Australia? Okay,
I'm
that's what I
literally about to tie this in. Who claimed that they saw the same two figures that resembled the man in the daughter's photo at the launch pad in their security footage. And apparently the missiles, the launch pad and where the photo was taken, were only 20 miles apart.
Dude.
So, here it is.
You don't have it, no way. What?
Yep, that's the photo, verified by Kodak.
What?
Describe the photo, would you?
Okay, so it's like, completely different than what I imagined. It's this little girl. She's holding flowers. She's in a cute little dress. She has this cute little bob with bangs. But it's like, I want to say...
It's weird, isn't it?
I want to say it's almost like a beekeeper outfit.
Yeah.
Almost. I would say if you like looked at it, it would almost be like a beekeeper. Or if anybody's ever seen WandaVision, it's the guy who's all in white who comes up through the tube.
That's the beekeeper of it.
Isn't it beekeeper? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's what I thought. So that, or the classic all white and black screen visor thing that's like a space guy would wear. But it looks like it's coming out of like the top of her head.
Yep. So
but how would you even be that doesn't make any sense. How would it even be standing?
And that's the question, because originally when he took the photo, that figure was not there.
Dude, I'm trying to see, but it looks like it's almost like it's just popping out behind her head. What I don't understand is, how is he standing?
Dude,
you almost have his whole.
Me.
You almost have the bottom and it's also that his arms are like rested at his hips, like where you have, like you have a little bit of bend in your arm. You have this, right. And it's like you're almost at an angle, but he's at like I don't even know what angle that is. It's not 45, but like it's not a 90-degree angle with the floor. Like he's not like standing straight up. He'd have to be like.
He's at like diagonal. A 20-degree angle, something like that. Yeah,
he's like diagonal. Like you'd have to be like crooked standing. Mm-hmm. That makes me want to think that he just has a freaking piece of paper on her and just lied about it. Like that's how his position is doesn't make sense.
His claims were that he was not there.
But then who took her picture?
No, like he was there to take the photo, but the guy
wasn't there.
The spaceman, we'll call him, was not there when he took the photo. He was not there. And then it was after that he developed this photo that people started coming to him.
It's the stance.
The stance is weird, I'll give you that.
And I can't get over it. I understand that it was verified, but if anything, it looks like it's just like a piece of paper he taped on her or something.
So, I see what you're saying, and it's not, I could absolutely see this dude standing right there.
I can't. I can only see him standing diagonally.
It's not that bad of an angle. But
Okay.
yes, his arms are resting at his hip.
And then one isn't, though. From the angle of what he would have to be standing in, of his hands resting on his sides, and then being diagonal, like it just doesn't make sense to me.
I see where you go. I see where you're coming
But
from.
it's not a super clear image either. It's
not
black and white, and it's hard to see.
So
Because it's originally a black and white photo, I'm guessing, too, right?
no, it was a Polaroid.
Polaroid, that even makes it harder.
Yeah. So
Okay.
this had color to it, but I didn't want to print it in color.
Why not?
Because I don't think we did have it.
We have color.
Oh, anyways. So yeah. That's the Men in Black a little bit.
You don't have another story? I said there's another one.
No, the other stories were they were all kind of around the same idea, but I do have another little tidbit at the end here.
Oh.
Just something completely separate from the Men in Black.
Oh, separate? Okay.
Do you know who the Muffin Man really was?
Do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man!
Yeah.
Yeah. Who is it? Who lives at Drury Lane?
Yeah. So it was a nursery rhyme that gave some details.
Okay.
Right? Do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man that lives on Drury Lane.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about a serial killer.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I think I've heard this.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've heard of this before?
I want to say I've heard something about how the Muffin Man was a serial killer.
Yeah. So it's not confirmed, but there's a heavy consensus that
nursery rhymes are always so dark.
Dude, I know. I came across this one. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna talk about this one at the end. So it's claimed that the Muffin Man was a 16th century muffin seller, which is not like the sugary ones we have today, but like an English muffin.
Okay.
You know? Mm-hmm. And he was a vicious murderer that was named Frederick Thomas Linwood.
Oh, so we have a name for this guy, but it's not confirmed.
Right. So Linwood allegedly used the muffin as a business to kill. The sources state that he would tie a muffin to a string and then lure unsuspecting victims close enough for him to beat them to death with a spoon. Honestly,
okay.
If you die by a spoon like that,
I don't mean to laugh, but by a spoon,
yeah.
Did he have a knife to kill?
Dude, muffin? Okay, just close your eyes and picture this. Like, you see a muffin on a string, you're walking on the street, and you're like, oh fuck, I gotta follow this muffin, bro.
Dude, like a cat on a
Yeah, and there's some dude with a spoon, just like, I'm fucking ready.
Oh no.
Where was I? And so yeah, he would beat them to death with a spoon, and Linwood himself avoided arrest his whole life, but he died after choking on food.
If he was actually killing people, he died on food. Literally, I bet food that he lured people serves him freaking
He's
right.
like, bro, they didn't even get a bite of his muffin, bro.
Serves him right, dude. Oh,
so he has another nickname, which was called the Drury Lane Dicer.
Dicer? He didn't even cut them. He freaking beat them with the spoon.
I know.
Oh my gosh, he is a muffin.
Okay, so I read a little bit on Frederick Linwood. He has a biography.
Oh, okay.
So this threw me through a loop here, because when I looked him up, it said Fred got a job as the local rapist at age 15.
Is it a typo?
No.
No.
It was a job he would continue with popularity until he was 20. When he was...
What are you talking about right now?
Okay, hold on. When the King Henry the 13th? V is 10, right? Or is that 5?
5.
Yeah. So King Henry the 8th banned peasants from being raped. A result of his unpopularity, Fred eventually became a baker after that.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
What the actual fuck? No. Are you serious?
I'm serious.
I am in that nervous laughing where I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. So Fred decided to start baking.
Yeah, as one does after raping for 5 years.
Yeah,
What the
and
frick?
people often complain that there was too much cyanide in their Bismarcks. Or their baklava. Do you know what baklava is? Like a chocolate cake or like a chocolate cream cake.
Too much cream in it, or what?
It contained too many shards of glass. And eventually his bakery would go out of
shards of glass. What is too many? Like, what is too many?
No, that's just right.
Just add another little crunch.
Yeah, he would eventually go out of business, and he would sell a few pastries, nothing crazy, and then several years later, he began to develop dementia, and then he would set up shop again, and then it was at this time that.
So he would just like get dementia set up shop, or
No. It was after he got dementia, he would set up shop. After he got dementia, he would set up shop, and that's when he started killing people.
So then he wouldn't remember, so he'd just do it all over again?
Possibly. That's the theory. But he had weird names for his stuff. So one of his pastries was called the Glazed Pagan, the Arsenic Apple Crisp, and the Flaming Friar.
Jeez.
So yeah. And he mainly attacked kids because they drove him wild because they would eat him out of his shop. And so that's why he would lure kids.
Dude, are you serious?
Yeah, so that's...
I can't get over this. There's too many shards of glass. How much is too many? I feel like any is too many.
So that's what...
What in the world?
Yeah,
what a surprise.
When I read that one, I was like, oh, Sam's going to love this. But when I swear to God, when I first started reading he was the local rapist, I was like, okay, what does this mean in the freaking 16th century? And no, that was a profession.
What does that even mean? Are you seriously telling me back in the 16th century, people were like, okay, what I don't understand is either I want you to hire, I want to hire you to do this to me, or I want to hire you to do this to someone else.
That's what it was.
Are you freaking serious?
Mm-hmm. It was all a power trip.
I have no words.
It's pretty horrible.
I literally have so much rage inside my heart about that. What the actual heck?
Talk to King Henry VIII.
He banned it though, right?
Yeah, because he started becoming unpopular. He's like, yeah, we should probably stop that.
I could not roll my eyes anymore. I couldn't have enough emphasis on my eye rolling. That is oh my gosh.
Yep.
Well, I enjoyed that last little tidbit, but
you got a
kind of got me all wild.
Fire in your heart.
It got me all riled up. And
well,
you just freaking punch. Just makes me want to kick a fat kid in Kmart.
Well, that's all I got for you today. You got any more questions for me?
No, they're freaking awesome. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, see you guys on the next one. Bye.